Gets open for three. Dagger!
The kick, and here it comes. Swing and a miss! And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions.
You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
My approval ratings keep going up.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Welcome into DTC. My name is Joe. I'm on mic 1. His name is Steve on mic 2. Razzle's behind the glass doing a bunch of stuff, scrambling last minute here as we get set up. We are broadcasting live, just a few minutes here after the Cowboys have lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on opening night. Stevie, football is back. This was not the game I was expecting, and let's not bury the lead. Yes, football is back, but Brady is still awesome. And these two quarterbacks combined for almost 800 yards, and that probably will be the talk of the town tomorrow. Anybody, every talking head, every opinion show, everything is gonna be talking about Dak's performance. I mean, he's back and he's good and he looks good and he's healthy. And it was great actually to see him. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Cowboys fan. You're not a Cowboys fan. We're in DC. That the Cowboys are not our team. But they played much better than I expected. And I know, yes, the Bucs start off 1-0 and Tom Brady. But the real story here for me is the Cowboys. What did you see? Because I wasn't expecting this game. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, it's late on the East Coast here, Joe. I mean, we're 12:01 now, so we're past midnight here. But it was football. So let's start off with that. Football's back, and so
clap for football.
Golf clap for that. So, but it was not a clean game, but it was an entertaining game. A lot of turnovers, a lot of drops, most of them coming from CeeDee Lamb in the beginning of the game. Kind of a sloppy game, but an entertaining game. Anytime you get a quarterback, launching 50 passes and Dak was throwing it for another 60. I mean, this is football in the year 2021. I mean, this is not the Hogs of the 80s pounding the ball, with Terry Allen or John Riggins, or this isn't that. This is the new NFL, and it was on full display. And so when you say burying the lead, I mean, to me, there are no such thing as moral victories in sports, as we all know. But the Cowboys came. That's
surprising coming from you, because Team Blue is all about the moral victories.
It's true. My athletic career is all about moral victories, but in professional sports, the Dallas Cowboys came as close to a moral victory as you're going to get, playing the world champions neck and neck. For much of the game, being right there with them, having a shot at the end.
Oh, I mean, they had the lead. They had the lead with 2 minutes to go. I mean, they played a really gutsy performance, and I think you said something that I think we should talk about for just a few minutes here. Both teams combined for less than 30 rushing attempts. That's incredible. I mean, one of the bets we put in before the game started was was Zeke going over 56 yards. It was a small bet, but that's he'll get 50 yards. I mean, I feel like the days of running backs, whether elite or non-elite, getting 50 yards, like that just doesn't happen. He ended with 11 carries for 30 something yards, 33 yards. We're looking at the box score here for anybody that's watching the video. The Bucs on the other side, I mean, I didn't expect Leonard Fournette to lead the pack, but he only touched it 9 times as a running back for about the same, but well under 4 yards per attempt. And Ronnie Jones, four carries. Now he obviously got pulled early in the game, so who knows if that was part of the script or not. I don't know if Leonard was planned. I don't know if he was scripted in to actually play that much, but Brady threw the ball 50 times for 380 yards, and Dak threw it for almost 60 attempts, Stevie, for 400. So between the two of them, almost, 7 touchdowns and almost 800 yards. I mean, that's a ton of yards, man. Like, this was not the game I was expecting. And, again, I'm not upset about it. I mean, this was for the NFL as good of an opening night as there's been in several seasons. Like, I don't remember the last time there was a game like this that really kept us as fans engaged until the end. And again, here in DC, like, yes, I want the Cowboys to lose every single game, but this is a team that deserves a lot more respect. And I think people are going to come away, myself included, thinking, hey, this team, they have a soft schedule. The next time they play a playoff opponent or an opponent that went to the playoffs last year is week 11 when they come, I think they come here to Washington. I mean, they've got 10 games in a row against teams that did not make the playoffs. This is a good team. Yes, there's some gaps on that defense. They got to figure out something to they got to put together something that looks like a running game. But this Cowboys team it's a good team, Stevie.
Well, yeah. Well, look, the game was good enough that it kept Razzle awake until midnight for him to show up on this podcast. Okay, so that's saying something. Okay,
he's always awake. He's always awake.
I'm always awake with the baby.
Razzle, give me your lead for the game tonight.
What's the story? What's the story tomorrow
give me your
on every show? What's
the story is obviously Brady did what he had to do to win the game, like he always has throughout his career. But I was impressed with the Cowboys. I was impressed with the showing that they put out there. Their defense looked, solid, not great, but it looked much improved than last year. I mean, yep, right there, what you're pointing to right there, Joe. Dak found Amari a number of times in the right spot at the right time. They couldn't get the running game going. That was something I was a little disappointed.
I mean, they didn't even try.
They didn't try.
They didn't even try.
But with a large contract in Zeke, you need to be giving him the ball often and early in the game to get him going. So, I mean, Dak, I think I saw on the pass attempts, if you scroll up, 58 attempts for Dak. That's a lot. I mean, you're not going to win,
but Razzle,
10, 11 games throwing the ball that much.
Razzle, get out of 1992. Do you need to even run the ball anymore in this league?
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
these guys are putting up 31, 29 points.
Well, now you sound like our buddy Peter, who's been clamoring that.
Well, I hate sounding like Peter. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's not. Look,
thing.
It's not a dig, but it's not a compliment either. But the running game, like, I don't know, is every team built this way? No, definitely not. But I wasn't expecting this either, Stevie. This is a lot of passing. This is a lot of yards.
Too much.
I didn't expect.
Who's to say it's too much?
It's too much.
But they also spread it out. I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot happening. Amari Cooper had 13 catches. CD he caught 7, went over 100, but he dropped like 3 in a row. I think on the opening drive or the second drive.
Right.
I mean, that could have been the game. And there was a crazy call. I don't know if you guys caught this too. About 3 minutes left in the second half, in the second quarter. There was a random. I'm blanking on the name of the linebacker. I got to go pull the name of the linebacker, but he just randomly took his helmet off after dropping an attempted interception. Like, is that no longer
Levante David?
Is that no longer a penalty? Like, should that not have extended the drive? I don't know. It wasn't called.
Definitely extended the drive. They should have called that. The way he took it off his head and spiked it.
He took it off. It didn't fall off. He literally he dropped the ball, then took it off and slammed it on the ground, and then walked off as if nothing happened. And for 5, 6, 7 seconds, I was waiting for that flag, automatic first down. Cowboys are driving, get another touchdown. I mean, they struggled kicking the ball. There's a lot of things to talk about here, but
can we talk about? Can we not miss the forest for the trees here? The Dallas Cowboys are going to be very good. Okay, well, it's because you don't understand it. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be very good. Okay, and we might need to go back to those projections. And that NFC
start all over. Yeah.
And I mean, we need to revisit the WFT guys walking away with this division. The Dallas Cowboys showed with a beat up offensive line, with a COVID offensive line, without Zach Martin, they protected Dak. Dak made the right reads. Amari Cooper proved that what Chris Collinsworth said. I mean, and who would know better than Chris? He's one of the best route runners in the league.
A lot of people know better than Chris, but we don't need to get into that.
Hey, don't piss off Chris Collinsworth. Okay.
I mean, Chris Collinsworth, he sounds like somebody that works at ESPN when LeBron's on, like when LeBron's got a basketball game. He is all over Brady's sack. I mean, it is constant. It is relentless. If there's an over-under on how many times Brady's name gets mentioned or his age, I mean, it's crazy. They are all over, and it's a cool story. I get it, but there's 10 other guys that are out there playing, offense. There's another 11 on the field that are trying to stop him from doing what he's done for 20 years. It's an awesome story, but Collinsworth, man, every other phrase, or every other graphic, every other whatever, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. But I will tell you though, I was impressed with Drew Brees. I thought he was actually. I was curious to see how he would be. Like, I mean, he kind of. I mean, he's got that Romo thing, right? Like, I think if he was calling, games,
nobody's
he'd be really
Romo.
Good.
Don't put him on the same level as Romo. Come on,
I thought he was
Romo.
really good. He was really good.
You're right.
He was really good.
I
thought he was good.
I don't want to go all Collinsworth on us, but can I get on Brady's jock here for a little bit? Because the game-winning drive.
Yeah, do it because they didn't do it enough on the broadcast. That's what people are here for. They want to hear more about Brady. Can you tell something about how old he is or how amazing he is or Gronk, catching
or what they said
touchdown.
20 years ago.
Yeah, give us a good nugget, Steve, about Brady that we don't know.
I'm sorry. Let me actually break down some actual football as opposed to just talking here. So you guys can quiet down for a second. The game-winning drive. Okay, Thomas R. Brady. I don't know his middle name, but listen to this. Backfield throw to running back, incomplete to wide receiver, 4-yard throw, line of scrimmage throw to Gronk, 10-yard dart to Gronk, throw away deep, and then the perfect back shoulder to Godwin, which he went out of bounds with and almost scored. Then he gets 3 throwaways out of bounds. And my point is the way he manages these last-second drives.
He's Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Brother's got 4 first names.
Could he be more Irish?
That's an incredible name. I didn't know that. There's something new. That's something new.
I mean, you gotta give him the credit. I mean,
did you have Antonio Brown leading the charge? Mike Evans looked hurt, but did you have Antonio? Getting that many reps? I didn't see that coming either. I mean, I know he's good. And I
saw a prediction from someone earlier today that Antonio Brown's going to be the best receiver for the Bucs this season. And the way it looked tonight, he looked like their number one.
Yeah. I mean, he looked good. He looked good.
Gronk
looked really slow, but he catches everything, and he continues to just catch everything. But again, for me, the story is the Cowboys. They are not a bad team, and Dak, if he plays the way he played tonight, they're going to win 12 games.
Well, the problem with these early games, and I'll pose the question to both of you, is it's hard to tell if the team is actually good or the team they're playing is not good. And I think the example of that is Cowboys offense, Bucs defense. Is the Cowboys offense as good as they looked today, or is the Bucs defense going to struggle more than we think? I mean, Dak was going after that DB number 35. I mean, he was abusing him, and Amari Cooper seemed to be taking quite advantage of him. So, again, this is just the beginning of the season, so we're going to have to play this out a little bit. But did the Cowboys look a little bit better than they actually are because of a Bucs defense that is going to struggle, is a lot older than we think. JPP, and Ndamukong Suh, these guys are yesteryear kind of guys. And so, maybe there's some real holes in that Bucs defense that they're not as good as they were last year, and they will struggle, especially in the secondary. So maybe the Cowboys aren't as good as we're giving them credit, but certainly Dak, coming off of an 11-month layoff, looked as good as he could look.
No preseason snaps, no nothing. He looked good. He came into today cold, and I think he looked great. I think this Cowboys offense is going to continue the success that they had tonight throughout the season. I think their defense will be solid. It will be much improved from last year, and they're going to be competing for the NFC East. I hate to say that, being a Washington football team fan myself. So,
to your point, Stevie, about the sacks, I think the Cowboys gave up 1. And I don't think Brady was sacked at all. So, I mean, neither defense played very well. They didn't play well at all. They played poorly, actually. But there wasn't a lot of pressure on either quarterback. I mean, that's part of the reason why they completed so many passes and obviously got, the stats seem a little bit padded. Both teams really struggled on third down as well. The Cowboys went 9 for 17. And shockingly, looking at the box score now, the Bucs went 5 of 11. I mean, that's not championship conversion, a conversion rate of a champion. Like that's shockingly low.
Well, let's give a little bit of credit to Cowboys offense coordinator Kellen Moore, calling his first game for the team. I thought he called a great game, and again, it goes back.
But so did Leftwich, though. And Brady getting in his face and screaming, "I don't!" Like he did it a couple times actually, just like I don't want that play, including on the last drive where he was yelling from the huddle. No,
I saw that.
No, like it.
I would love Brady to get in my face. That'd be amazing. 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 Okay, Leftwich would be so lucky.
You and Collinsworth together. Yeah.
It goes back to, again, we always talk about, in Washington, setting up the run with the pass. And a lot of teams are doing that these days, right? And they're starting off it's not setting up the pass with the run. It's setting up the run with the pass. And they, get into, they're passing a lot in the beginning of the games, and then they get into these fourth quarters and they're bringing in these bruisers to really run the ball and kill the clock and hold on to a lead. Maybe that's out the window. Maybe it's just let it fly. Maybe that's the new era that we're coming into. Maybe we're going to see some records being broken over the season, these next, few games and stuff. I think.
Well, maybe it's also two teams that can't run the ball. Maybe it's two offensive lines
Ezekiel
that aren't
Elliott
as good.
is
they're not as good as we think they are.
No,
Zeke looks slimmed down. He looked good. Just
Zeke,
physically.
He looked so good. He went 10 carries for no yards.
I think
that's all he said.
that may have been the game plan and the play calling, because they didn't give it to him early. But we should see a different side of Zeke throughout the season. That we shouldn't see this Zeke, or I think the Cowboys would be in trouble. I don't think they can only rely on Dak's arm to get them to,
Sure.
But what about the Bucs? I mean, can the Bucs really rely only on Brady and Gronk to just will them through these games? I mean, they were expected to beat this team. They barely beat them. They couldn't run the ball. The defense didn't look very good. The offense, there was a lot of penalties on the Bucs, especially, down the stretch. I think they ended up, let me look. 11 penalties for about 100 yards. I mean, that's not a Bruce Arians team effort. Like, it just, something seemed off. There was also a ton of Cowboys fans. Did you guys hear the Cowboys chants?
There was a lot of Cowboys fans.
Very vocal. I mean, very vocal. But it was great to see, like, fans. That was the other thing too. Like, the pregame made it sound like there weren't fans at the Super Bowl. There were definitely fans at the Super Bowl, which happened to be in the same exact building in February. So, like, some of the talking points seemed a little bit off in the pregame to me. Like, they were trying to build it up as like the return of fans to a pro game. There was definitely fans at the Super Bowl. It wasn't a full 66,000.
Yeah, it wasn't what there was.
Yeah, but it was nice.
Joe.
It definitely makes a difference. Even for somebody watching on TV, when the fans are in the building, it makes a huge difference.
Right. And your original question is, can the Bucs rely on Brady? I think the fact that offensive line held up so well, the fact that he didn't go down, the fact that he wasn't getting pressured, I think, in a crappy division, they can run this playbook. Now, Brady showed, and again, we've got 2 Super Bowls of evidence to prove this, is that when Brady is in his spots and he's in that pocket and he's allowed to stand there, there's nobody like him. But when he gets happy feet, when he gets moved off of his spots, he is as mediocre a quarterback as can be. So, there were even a couple times where the Cowboys were able to get some pressure up the middle.
Throws. There was one really old man, like, stumble bumble throw to Fournette.
That's right. He actually completed it. But
right, he completed that one.
Tell me that's not the MO. You get Brady off of his spots, and he becomes very mediocre. The Giants did it to perfection. JPP was on one of those teams. So the Giants taught us how to do that in those 2 Super Bowls. And that's the key to knocking him down. You got to just knock him down.
They also, did you guys notice the disrespect to the Washington football team in one of the early graphics showing Brady's run through the NFC?
Yeah. They called Breeze, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes. They didn't give Taylor Heineke any.
That's right. Where's Mr. Heineke? The only team that actually challenged him. That was
the closest game they played last playoffs. Yeah.
Look, let's stay on that Cowboys topic for just a second. I'm gonna bring up the entirety of the league here, so we can all look at it together. You boys should be seeing this now. So let's just start with our hometown division here with the NFC East. Let's pick these really quick, because I think this is probably one thing we didn't get to on one of the previous shows. But now that we've seen a little bit of football, it seems appropriate that we look at these, and especially the NFC East. We all had Washington winning over the 8.5 games that Vegas has them pegged to win. But after what you saw tonight, like, let's just go quickly kind of through this. Is anybody sticking with Washington to win this? Because I'm coming off of that personally. Stevie, are you staying with the football team, or are you making a change here?
No, Cowboys.
You're going with the Cowboys. Razzle, what about you?
No, I'm staying with the football team. I like what I saw in Dallas, but I expected that. Let's give the Washington football team an opportunity to show what they can do on Sunday against the LA Chargers before we make any changes. I'm sticking with my Washington football team.
I think so. I'm with Stevie on this. I think I believe, I know I have seen enough, and I'm going to change my pick to the Cowboys. This is a potent offense. There's no question marks about this offense. It can only be better if they can find a way to incorporate Zeke. They have a ton of receiving talent, and the defense, they're good enough. So I'm coming off that as well. Let's let's go now to the NFC South. I think we were all on the Bucs previously. Stevie, who you got winning the South?
Bucs by a wide margin.
Razzle?
Yeah, it's the Bucs and everybody else.
I got the Bucs too. NFC West, probably the toughest one. Actually, let's come back to the West. Let's go.
Yeah,
NFC
let's do that
North.
one last.
Let's go NFC North.
NFC North. It's Green Bay. It's Green Bay and everyone else. It's the same thing. They're not going to have any wild card teams coming out of the North.
I actually think the Vikings might win that division, Stevie.
You've always been a Vikings homer.
I'm a Kirk guy.
Kirk, yeah.
I like
Unvaccinated Kirk.
I like the rookie in Chicago, but the Packers will win the division.
All right, let's come back to NFC West. I think the toughest division, or one of the tougher ones in the league. Razzle, who are you taking in the NFC West?
This is going to be my NFC champion pick, the LA Rams. I said this a couple of days ago when we got together. I like the Stafford McVay combination. I love the defense. I think they're going to do some special things. I'm picking LA. Stevie,
who are you taking?
I hate piggybacking off of Razzle. I freaking hate it. Okay.
Come see the light. Come see the light.
No. I ain't seen that. It's 12:15, brother. Okay. I ain't seen nothing over at your place. Okay. I'll give you a little wrinkle. Rams will win the division, and both wild card teams will come out of the West.
There's actually 3 wild card teams.
Yeah, there's 3.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, it's 17 games, 3 wild card teams.
You got on me for not being able to do math. I'm going to get you in a second here.
Okay, well, 2 wild card teams of those will come out of the West.
I'll agree with Steve on that one.
All right, so you're on the Rams. I'm on the Seahawks. I think they're actually sneaky good, and that defense is a little bit better. Let's switch over to let's go AFC North. Steve, you go first. AFC North.
This one's easy.
Browns.
Yeah, it's the Browns.
Okay, we're all on the Browns. AFC East. Stevie.
Bills.
It's Buffalo.
All Bills. AFC South.
Titans.
I'm gonna go Colts.
Ooh,
if
why?
Carson,
this is a terrible pick.
No,
he's just trying to be difficult. He's just
Carson Wentz is not a very good.
If Carson gets, with Frank Wright here, it's the right coach and the right quarterback combination. All right.
Okay.
I mean,
All right,
I know
fine.
Tennessee has the weapons. I know you got your boy Derrick Henry, Joe out there, but I'm gonna pick Indy.
I'm on the Titans too. What about the West? Razzle, you pick AFC West.
It's definitely Kansas City, but I think the LA Chargers will be a wild card team, and the Raiders we'll see, but it's definitely Kansas City winning the division.
I'm on Kansas City as well, Stevie.
Yeah, and I think Chiefs with the AFC West will be the best division in the AFC, similar to the NFC West.
So, Razzle, give me your 3 wild card teams for the AFC.
Baltimore had a number of injuries today. I'll say it's Baltimore. I'll say it's New England. And I just said the Chargers, so the LA Chargers.
So I'm gonna take the Broncos. I'm gonna take the Steelers, and I have a suspicion that the Patriots got something special in Mac Jones. So those are my 3. Stevie, who are your 3 in the AFC?
I always thought the Chargers. I'll give you Steelers, and I will give you. Oh, I like Joe Burrow a lot in Cincinnati. I don't know why.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
I'm a Burrow guy. Let's go.
He's zigging, or he's zagging.
Let's go. 2 wild card teams from the North.
Okay, I'm gonna go NFC. 3 teams. I like the Packers because I got the Vikings winning the division. So I'll take the Packers. I'll take the football team, and I kind of sneaky like the Cardinals also. I think the Cardinals, they're loaded on offense. They've reloaded on defense. It probably will take them a couple games to figure things out, but I like those 3, being the NFC wild card representatives. Razzle, who are you taking for the NFC? 3 wild cards.
I'll say it's Dallas. I say it's 2 teams from the NFC West, and I can't pick between the other 3. Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say the Seahawks have a down year, and we'll say San Francisco and Arizona with Dallas.
Stevie. Give us your 3.
I hate piggyback. I swear, I'm not. Well, it's the only difference is I changed my NFC's pick that I think the Cowboys are going to win the division. So I will say the Washington football team will make the wild card, and I think it'll be the Niners and Seahawks out of the West.
Niners are potentially a sneaky good team as well.
Yeah,
they'll be an interesting one to watch.
They just had so many injuries last year that it made us forget about them.
And it's a super tough division. I mean, that you can't afford to be a couple games back in that division early on. All right, so how about Super Bowl predictions? Razzle, you go first.
I said it earlier, I guess, the Rams and Chiefs, and I'll say Chiefs. I love Pat Mahomes. I love everything they're doing out there. Andy Reid in Kansas City.
Stevie, give us something interesting. Who's your Super Bowl pick? I feel like you're going to throw the Bills
interesting in the NFC, but I will give you Bucs Bills. Yes, I think Josh Allen is the MVP of the league, and I think the Bills will be able to stay with a Bucs team in the Super Bowl.
So I like the Bills as well, but I'm taking Washington. I'm taking the football team to make the Super Bowl.
You just took them out of the lead of the division.
They're coming in the 6th.
They can win it from a wild card spot. The Giants did it a bunch of times. They can win it from the wild card spot.
You're flip-flopping, Joe.
No, listen. If there was a
way
to
don't go Biden on us. Okay?
Listen, I'm not flip-flopping anything. I don't think they'll win the division. I think the Cowboys will likely win the division because of strength of schedule. Washington has an incredibly difficult schedule. We just went through it like 2 nights ago. The Cowboys aren't going to play they're not playing a real team until week 10 or week 11, 10 weeks from now. They're going to rack up 7-8 wins. It's going to be hard to catch them or keep pace with them. That's why I think they win the division. I think Washington ultimately is still the better team. And I think Washington has the pieces in place. If they get, there's some luck of the draw as far as how the playoffs shake out, but I don't know. That's my pick. It's my pick. Just let me have my pick. That's my pick. Okay. That's my pick.
Lock it in.
All right, we'll make sure we got to go back to the highlights of this episode.
We will.
Back in January, February.
That's right. On opening night, we made some predictions. All right, and I got Washington doing some damage. By the way, the name, the Warhogs, is kind of a cool name, and it's kind of growing on me. Commanders is my number 1, but Warhogs is kind of sneaking up in there. I kind of like that name. It works. I kind of like that one.
You're the only one.
Well, I mean, it's better than whatever Armada or.
Hey, I love the
Armada. Better than football
Armada's
team. I'm 100% off of football team. You can't spend like $5 million in 2 years in search of a name and then go with the poopy name that you had as a temporary name. Like you can't do that. You can't do that to the fan base. You can't do that in general. It's just.
I mean, they're not revisiting it till when? When are they planning on announcing it?
No, at the rate they're going, they're never going to announce it.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything until they have to.
Pissing off. Just pick something. We're all going to hate it for 5 minutes, and then we all move on. We'll get, I'll buy a new hat. I haven't bought team gear in, I don't know, 5-6 years since. I don't even remember buying it. We used to get it for free. Remember, Stevie? We'd go answer some questions with some cheerleaders and just look at them awkwardly. They give you the answer, and then you get like an XM radio and a hat or something, right? That's where all the team gear comes from. Any final thoughts, boys, as we put a wrap on the first game of 200 and something games of the NFL season? Stevie, anything interesting happening? Anything you want to share?
Let's. What were we talking about earlier? We were talking about something off camera.
Team Blue. You were excited about Team Blue, about Grandpa Joe mandating vaccines for the entire country. You were super excited about it. Remember there was that picture of him, like he was just sitting up there talking with his ice cream cone about how everybody Joe, if you have over 100 people in your company, the government's we're gonna, by the way, his eyes freak me out.
Grandpa Joe is awake and that boy is mandating some vaccine.
Listen, okay. Everyone knows your Team Blue through and through, but there's no way you're on board with this. Like Team Blue has been screaming about the former president mandating things and air quotes being the dictator. This guy's actually trying to do it. Like this guy's actually up there like saying you will. Governors.
I have no problem. I have no problem with the mandate.
No, this is something we all need so we can get on with our lives.
Razzle's Team Blue too. Okay,
I'm on this one. I mean, we all. I'm Team Blue when it makes sense. That's it.
And we wouldn't need the mandates if your boy didn't politicize vaccines.
Yeah,
in the first
totally
place.
under control. He had it totally under control.
Well, okay. Let me ask you a question, but you have to answer honestly. All right. Answer honestly. If Trump was president right now, would vaccine rates be higher or lower?
The rate of insurrections would be higher.
That's not a direct answer, but I know what you would say because it's the only actual answer.
Yeah.
So that the whole argument that it's Team Red that's somehow not doing whatever, like it's kind of nonsense, but we'll just leave it there.
There's another insurrection coming.
No, I mean, an insurrection is what happened in Afghanistan. If you would open the newspaper and look,
I mean, it happened. It happened twice. It happened.
That's an insurrection. Okay, that's what it looks like.
That was a successful one.
Yeah.
I know you get your news from the comic book, so I'll draw you a picture. But that's what an insurrection looks like. Okay, Razzle, anything interesting you want to bring up?
No, I'm just excited football's back. I'm excited football's back. We got a big day on Sunday. We got a bunch of games. Stevie and I were together earlier. We went on 5 or 6 sports to figure out which games were going to be on TV. We got
that 4 o'clock. There's a good one at 4.
There's 2 double headers. Yeah, for the Kansas City and Cleveland.
Yeah, Stevie's boys, the Browns.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it out there. Razzle has already made plans to skip church on Sunday. Just put it out in the atmosphere. Okay.
He's got a newborn. He's got a
very available.
He's got a newborn that's 4 years old. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry.
No, we're excited. Football's back. It's good to be back.
Did you guys happen to catch the story? Our buddy Peter actually sent me a story today about the FBI unsealed documents from the early 2000s about a gentleman who was redacted from the report. But in the early 2000s, when Kobe was dealing with his Colorado situation, somebody had reached out to him by mail and said for $3 million, he would take care of his problem, air quotes problem. And Kobe did what I think anybody in that situation would do and turned him into the police. And then it's just fascinating to read it all this many years later that there's actual crazy people in the world. And first of all, like the thing, and I know I shouldn't be like harping on this or like really focused on this part of it, but how do I mail something to somebody just via FedEx? You just walk in and say like, get this to Kobe. Like, how do you get someone's home address to actually send them a package like that? I don't, maybe the world was different back then. It was a simpler time. I don't know, but it just, the whole thing didn't make any sense. And to have it unsealed or uncovered, this, like, I don't know, between UFO stories and stuff like this, the stuff that's classified in this country that gets, after a certain amount of time, FOIA like reveals, it's fascinating. I don't know if you guys follow the UFO stuff.
Don't worry about it, Joe. Grandpa Joe's got you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Listen, if
taking care of it all.
I am pro America, so I don't want to see him fall and trip.
No one is
I don't want
not
to see him. I don't want to see him
Nope.
install a lift to get up the stairs in the Air Force One. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but I feel terrible for him. This has been a rough go. This has been a rough first year of his presidency.
You're right, Joe. He's a good man. You're right.
No, well, that's debatable.
It's a good point.
That's debatable. I'll send you a video. You tell me how good he is. He's kind of creepy.
Him sniffing the chick's hair.
It's creepy.
It's like you never sniff some chick's hair. Right?
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
So we call it a tame Wednesday night.
Oh my gosh. That's a perfect way to wrap.
Is this thing over yet? What time is it? All right, boys, let's put a bow on it. Happy football to both of you. Happy football. Football is back. I hope to see you soon. Stevie, are we watching the game on Sunday together? Is this something I should prepare for?
I'm a free man. You let me know.
Okay, let's do it then. Razzle, where are you on Sunday? You want to come watch?
I'm home, but I'm always available. Let me know.
All right. Well, let's talk off the air. Thank you, boys, for making time. Football is back. Happy football to everyone listening, to everyone watching. For Stevie and Razzle, my name is Joe. This is the Defeating the Curse podcast. You can find us on every platform, Apple, Google, Spotify, and on YouTube. Just search Defeating the Curse or DTC. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, we are out.